Oh my gosh, hi, what I'm about to say is so interesting. I'm about to explain why we literally live in a tree of life, and I could prove what it is made out of, and why humans don't even realize the maximum of their potential that they can harness if they know what I'm about to say. Insane. Okay, so as you see right here, when the clock is sped up, these stars in the sky look like the rings of a tree trunk, hinting to the fact that we might be in a tree or the tree of life. Very much so like this or this. It is even called Yggdrasil. I believe this is Nordic folklore, literally the tree of life. So basically, we're in the middle there, as above, so below. Oh, and you guessed it, this tree is made of plasma. Let me tell you why and what that means for the magic of you. It all starts with this man, Anthony Peratt. He is a physicist, he worked with plasma, literally wrote a book, Physics of the Plasma Universe, which for some reason is like $400 and $200 on Amazon. This is for college students about plasma. He worked with the Department of Energy, NASA. He studied with, he's a graduate student of Nobel Prize winning Hannes Alfvén, received a PhD in plasma physics and electrical engineering, and he worked a lot with all this cool shit. There is a free version, a free PDF online. Shh. But here's what no one tells us. He proposed plasma cosmology, an alternative to the Big Bang, basically that everything is made of plasma. This is not just some Joe Schmo. Plasma in a lab, plasma on ancient carvings. Basically, Anthony put together a very large study on plasmas, instabilities, something called Z-pinch, which basically showed the very interesting connections between old art and the way plasma shows up in labs. He basically took plasma photos in the lab and showed how they showed up in this art, which I just said, and explained that back in the ancient times, there was way more plasma reactions going on in the sky and that they drew them. But here's the thing. I think the secret here is that not only does this reflect the model of our universe and the tree of life, it reflects humanity and our potential. Let me explain. As I said, the universe is very much like a plasma torus. Here is the shape I think of our universe and a torus. Also the human biofield, or what I would call the soul or bioplasma. Also has to do with cells in the body. Not only do these plasma images literally hint at the Holy Grail, that definitely has to do with plasma, but it hints at the fact that we are the Holy Grail. We are the chalice. Once you see this Holy Grail cup, you cannot unsee it. Here, this is it. This is plasma. And in this universe that is made of all plasma at different gradients or densities, us being a crystallized plasma and consciousness mixed together, we can harness as our multidimensional self this plasma. Picture these two dots as electrons, or basically you in your body intelligence or sensing the field around you, using your body intelligence, not your logic. By doing this, not only can you engage in telepathy and intuition, this is the way indigenous cultures were. They sensed first and then reacted with logic. They did not use logic first and then sense. The literal magical powers this can unlock of us sensing the sun, sensing plasma, that is where our true power lies as humans. Plasma and consciousness are tools used by the multidimensional self to create our reality, to co-create our reality, because they both have intelligences of their own. I still can't get over the fact that this guy literally wrote a book on plasma physics, but we neglect to talk about this other stuff he did. This is why you have to do your own research. Everything in life is reflective. Our environment makes us up, just like we make our environment up. It is a feedback loop. Okay, and if you're like, Dana, what the F are you talking about with sensing our environment? This is literally what plasma intelligence is. I'm writing about all this in my new book. It's called A New Force. You could sign up. The link is in my bio. It'll be out prayers by June of next year. And it is all about how to harness this force and these forces for your best life. So picture yourself as an atom. Picture the proton and the neutron as your crystallized consciousness and your multidimensional self. And then the electron is more like feminine, more like plasma. But they're all packed together in a solid state, in our human state, right? When we plug into our plasma or our body intelligence, sensing first, we go literally from a solid state to a plasma state, or a solid intelligence, which is crystallized, to a plasma intelligence, meaning just like how a plasma is an ionized gas where electrons are free moving, meaning that the electrons just go wherever the F they want, kind of, instead of circling the atom or circling the neutron and proton. They are free to sense or feel out their plasma environment. And then you can make conscious decisions based on what you sense. Now, this is just my opinion, but I think that this is what that is. This is not only plasma intelligence and a literal plasma symbol from a lab, but this hidden in plain sight, or an atomic sight, is a symbol of what humanity is capable of. The Holy Grail is us. We are capable of astral projection. We are capable of telepathy. We are capable of training our consciousness to go wherever it wants and then come back to us in a proton state. Picture your consciousness as a photon and light traveling wherever it wants to in the dream state and astral projection, and then landing back within the proton and the neutron crystallized in your body. We can do both by the mechanism of plasma intelligence. I really hope this is making sense, but I promise I will lay it all out very simply in my new book, which will be words, and you can read as slow or fast as you want, make your own notes. I'm telling you guys, this is like groundbreaking, really interesting stuff. And thank God that the universe has chosen to, for this to be my purpose. I'm so literally grateful because it's the most funnest, whatever, I don't care if that's a word, it's the most funnest thing ever to study. It's literally like everything. And also it's so simple because in some sense, it's basically just telling us to enjoy life. Evolve, experience, enjoy. Also, funny enough, this little plasma universe symbol also reminds me of a tree trunk. Well, inside a tree. And an eye, perhaps. Just picture this is you, your crystallized little self, and then you liquefy your consciousness in this plasma field and astral project to other beautiful worlds and maybe outside into bigger dimensions. Not for nothing, that is kind of weird. Michael Faraday, I'm pretty sure he worked with plasma. This is from like the 1800s, randomly came across it. I think this might have something to do with plasma. And it looks like a Holy Grail cup. That was just a little bonus weird thing. I know it's a stretch. I can tell I'm onto something because my cheeks get really red and hot when I feel like I'm onto truth. Okay, resources. So as I said, Physics of the Plasma Universe. I think this is the first volume, but you can find the free PDF if you're just interested in learning more from this guy. And then if you Google these words, hopefully you can find this really cool website where whoever this is, thank you, put together all of Anthony's research. And it basically talks about his laboratory generated plasma, comparing it to the petroglyphs. That's the dang word. I've been thinking, what is that word this whole time, calling them rock drawings, and how he thought that the people animalized or humanized the celestial events or the plasma events where the universe was way more active in a plasmatic electrical way. But as I said, I think it has way more to do with the magic of humanity. It really is fascinating just how many like comparisons there are. Like, what? And then even here, it's crazy. It's insane. All right, I'm done. I was leaving you hanging there, I'm sorry. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3, plasma.